Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a hell of a show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, we're trying to hit 200,000 subs by the end of the month. Appreciate it if you guys helped us hit our goal. Let me get into this topic here. Yesterday, there was a very, very big game in the NBA, right? Very, very big game between the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, after the Wolves eliminated the Denver Nuggets, we did a live after Game 7, right? When we were reacting to it. And I remember saying during that live that I said, now that this series is over, we are in store for one of the most entertaining series I believe that we have seen in years. And I was getting into the breakdown, a little bit of the breakdown of the series before it started. And as usual, people usually ride this emotional high of what just happened just now is the greatest thing that has ever happened, right? And I was saying to some of our viewers at the end of that game, because I believe we put up a poll, and we put up a poll 3 days ago, and we asked our audience, who wins this series between the Wolves and the Mavs? Of the 12,000 voters, 61% of them went for the Wolves and 39% of them went for the Mavs. And I thought that those people were 100% wrong, because I thought that the series was a lot closer. But there was a serious recency bias that was taking place. And for whatever reason, people were now confusing Jamal Murray to Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. And I said that was a fatal mistake, because these guys are actually better. There's nobody in this universe that can guard a Kyrie Irving or Luka Doncic, but especially a Kyrie Irving. And people are like, no. Anthony Edwards can guard Anthony, which brings me to Anthony Edwards. So as you guys know, Anthony Edwards is a very, very entertaining NBA player. He says what he thinks. He's funny to a lot of people. He's very confident, but at times I think he does a little bit too much talking. These playoffs, he's been doing a lot of talking. And in some cases, he's been backing it up. And in other cases, his team has been backing it up and not him. In that closeout Game 7, he didn't really have a stellar game, but his team won. But going into this series, he was talking about how I want the Kyrie matchup and all of that. I'm like, what? You want the who? You want to guard who? You want to guard Kyrie Irving? Like, what are you even talking about? Or you want to guard Luka Doncic? And there were people that actually believe, well, I believe. I'm like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're talking about players that are in a totally different stratosphere. So what happened? The game takes place yesterday, and Kyrie Irving puts on the show. Kyrie Irving ended up finishing the game. Let's go over the box score. He finished the game with 30 points on 52% shooting from the field, with 5 rebounds, 4 assists, only 2 turnovers and a block. Let's look at the other guy that was supposed to get shut down. Luka Doncic, he finished with 33, 6 rebounds and 8 assists and 3 steals. He did have 4 turnovers, but in that second half, he was absolutely unguardable. And as I was watching the game, I was getting so frustrated listening to Reggie Miller. Why was I getting frustrated with Reggie Miller? Because Reggie Miller's job, it seems like, whenever they say, okay, this is the new guy, this is the guy that the NBA wants, all he does is go up there and starts making excuses. Oh, he looks really tired. Where's Ant going to get his legs from? He looks extremely tired. What is he going to do? I'm like, yo, bro, shut up. I don't want to hear this. We're in the playoffs. We're in the Western Conference Finals. Everybody's tired. Nobody wants to hear this. And apparently, Reggie Miller isn't the only one, because today I was listening to a segment on Undisputed featuring Keyshawn Johnson, Skip Bayless, and Paul Pierce. And when they were discussing what Ant had to say at the end of the game about his fatigue and all of this, one of the people that seems to agree with me and others is Paul Pierce. And he's like, yo, bro, I don't want to hear nothing about you're tired. That makes you look weak. So for those of you who didn't hear what Paul Pierce had to say, want to play what Paul Pierce had to say for you now, and then want to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to what Paul Pierce had to say here.
I mean, I gave him a C- Skip, because as a player, as a competitor, I've raised the bar for him throughout this year, throughout this playoffs. I had him on my first team All-NBA. But if I'm in that,
and he made second.
And he made second.
Yeah.
So
By the way, who, off the top of your head, do you know who you'd have him over?
I probably would have put him over Giannis.
Over Giannis, okay.
Yeah, I would have put him over Giannis.
All right.
I thought his team was better. He played well. But I was a little disappointed in hearing that, Skip, because if you're the leader of this team and you're in the locker room and, you know, I'm sitting next to our star, our guy, our man, and he's saying he's tired, he's exhausted, I'm not very confident about the series. And in a playoff year where all I've heard Anthony Edwards talk about is just ooze confidence through his teammates. I'm talking about, and this goes back to the Denver series. Like, he's talking to the security guard, they lose. Game 5, they're down 3-2, back against the wall.
Yep.
He said, that's all right, Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
What I would have liked to hear in that press conference is like, all right, you know, I'll bounce back.
Mm-hmm. Well, he said we're going to be all right.
He did say that, but that just shows me, like I said earlier, that shows me that's a chink in the armor. You don't want that. You don't want to see your leader, your emotional leader, say things like that. I mean, I'm just, if I'm a teammate and I'm sitting here and I'm listening to this, I'm like, it doesn't give me any confidence.
By saying we going to be all right?
It's just I'm fatigued. So, like, at this point, I'm exhausted. At this point in the NBA playoffs, everybody's fatigued.
So you heard what Paul Pierce had to say. Here are my thoughts on Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is being crowned the next coming of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. As a Kobe guy, I am very, very skeptical. I've always taken a position that you got to show me. You got to show me. I got to see it. And some people are taking it to the extent of this is the next coming of Michael Jordan. Folks, I think we all need to relax. None of us are witnessing Michael Jordan here or the second coming of Michael Jordan. Y'all need to chill. Anthony Edwards is going to be a great player, and he is a great player. He's not Michael Jordan. Like, let's stop. Like, let's just cut it out. Like, stop it immediately. What version of him reminds you of Michael Jordan? What year Jordan we talking about? What's the year? When he was with the Wizards? What year exactly? What's the year can we point to and be like, oh, he reminds me of MJ here. I don't see it. Number one. Number two, I don't remember MJ talking this much trash before series. Like, MJ went out there. Yeah, he was a trash talker, but he wouldn't be talking, I'm going to knock. MJ would go out there and just win. Right? He would just win. And that's what he did. Kobe was the same thing. Kobe would just beat you. Now, during the game, he'll trash talk you, but Kobe Bryant's not going to be in the media talking about, I got him and I got that and I got him. Nah, Kobe would just get better. Right? And Kobe had to guard a young Allen Iverson and all of that, and who was giving him that work early on in his career because AI was better than him at that point. But to me, with Anthony Edwards, somebody brought up the comment. They were like, Jason Tatum wins a playoff series and they talk about a playoff game. And they talk about how bad Jason Tatum was, that it was a close game. Anthony Edwards loses one. And then all of a sudden they talk about, man, he really did his best. And he reminds me of Michael Jordan. Like, I like Ant, but I think y'all need to chill with it. And we got to see it. And whatever y'all thought y'all was going to see in this series of the Wolves are going to run over the Dallas Mavericks rush hour, you got something totally different in store. They have nobody that can deal with those guys. Nobody. Nobody can guard their players individually. Nobody. And it's not like their main point of attack is a center that you can kind of just gang up on and crowd in the paint. On the perimeter, it's a lot different unless you plan on sending 3 guys, 2-3 guys, and scramble your entire defense. I think it's a totally different thing. And I don't really think the Dallas Mavericks even played well that game with all of those threes that they were missing. But I'm not a fan of all of this talking, and I'm glad. Like, listen, you're 22 years old. Anthony Edwards is 22 years old. 22. And he's talking about he's tired. Luka, Kyrie, and all of them are older than he is. Why aren't they tired? Why am I not hearing about Karl Anthony Towns and them talking about they tired? I don't want to hear that. If you want to talk all that talk, back it up. Nobody wants to hear the excuses. That's just me. If you feel a type of way, or I don't like where, I don't care. Calling it like I see it. If you like it, great. If you hate it, great. If you have it, you're right. This is what I think. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.